This is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Today's program is Rock Your Blab Show. Be the host with the most. Doing live training, Q&A, 30 minutes. Hit the seat, ask your questions. Doesn't have to be like a quick rotation. It just means that if you have questions about being a host, whatever they may be, how to improve being a host, what tips you might are looking for, get into the seat and ask away, because your questions are surely being asked by other people. Let's give them the answers. How's that? So the seat is open. Anybody wants to jump in. I want to welcome Cheval, I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, and Calvin to the program. And any minute now, we will have more people join us. It's the way it works when you're running a Blab show, is it takes time for people to get the messages. Good morning, Georgia. Good to have you with us. The seat is open for anybody who has questions about Be the Host with the Most. I'm here to answer your questions. Okay, well, I appreciate you being here, Cheval. It's perfectly okay. You can't jump in now. If you have questions, do the /Q with a question and put it out there. Be happy to respond that way. Better to have somebody in the seat, though, for those who are watching the replay to get their questions answered. Those of you who don't know me, why am I doing this show? It's because I have been asked by the community to do it. I host a morning program. It's called Morning Mindset Cafe, weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, every weekday morning. And there have been many who have attended that show and participated in a variety of ways who have asked, can you train me how to be a host? I like the way you do it. Some of it is technical, in that they're not certain of the technicalities of Blab and how to do some things. What kind of controls does a host really have? Most of the time, it is, how do I control the conversation? How do I keep people on track? How do I prepare? Do I have to be formal? Can I be informal? So that's what I've done. In response to those who have asked me to, I've set up this 30-minute live training. And anybody who has a question, I'll be happy to answer them. Tips on conducting Blab interviews. Blech. How's that? Tips on conducting Blab interviews while keeping track of the comments in the comment section. So when you are interviewing, the key is to have a co-host, quite honestly. You assign a co-host and someone willing to keep track of the comments and interact in the comment section. If there is a small room, such as right now, I may have somebody in the seat and we're talking, but there's only 4 or 5 people in the comment area. I can glance over and see what's being asked or comments. But when it's a full room and you have a lot of activity happening, and if you have a very popular show, it really is best to have a co-host and assign the role of management to the co-host. Say, this is your role. Sure, Calvin. This is your role, is to keep the conversation going, answer questions, or to make sure that those who have questions gets addressed on the show. Hello, Calvin.
Hi there.
See you.
It's a bit cold.
It's a bit, just a wee bit chilly, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had that earlier this week, and it's warming up here, but it'll get chilly again. We're going to be down in the 30s Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I guess so. About hosting, we were mentioning that, and kind of, because I was kind of self-taught, and do you think that learning self-taught is like sort of the best way, or going directly through a mentor or something like that is like
I think we can start being self-taught, which is what I did. And then I started watching others and how they hosted. And I watched the participation of those in their program. And some are able to get participants to be involved and some aren't. It really is dependent on the title of the Blab, how well it's promoted to your network and others' networks, and the ability of the host to make sure that the expectations of the audience is met.
Mm.
So those are my top three.
Oh, that's cool. Would you say it also applies to platforms like YouTube or Vimeo?
If you have other people that are participating, absolutely.
Okay. Right.
Absolutely. You're setting the expectation by the title or the description, and people are coming with the expectation they're going to learn or participate or see something in particular. So you need to meet that expectation, be prepared to meet it.
Yeah. Right. That's it's like it's funny because like when I was in my early stages of YouTube, and like it's crazy because I didn't really speak in front of the camera, and it's like sort of once you start taking that footage into Final Cut or iMovie or whatever platform you have to edit, snip away, as you're snipping away, you kind of see the mistakes that you're making.
Oh,
and
sure.
That's how I sort of like present myself in front of the camera. And, it's like, as you can tell, I'm not stuttering at all because I've seen like so much footage of myself. It's sort of like trained me in a way. And, there's hardly any thinking periods or what's that called? Dead noise, if you want. Yeah. So, I just did it because I'm tired. But that's another thing too. If you're going to be hosting and starting an own show, you have to be healthy, I guess. Don't you agree on that as well?
Yes.
Because I had so many late nights for me, and then you're sitting there
too
in front
many
of the
late
camera
nights,
trying
and
to
exactly too many late
and then you're
nights.
just stuttering.
You're
just
yeah.
So
right. See, and you ruin the expectation of the audience. So yes, it's important to be healthy. Comments. Yes, it's better to have a co-host to keep track of things. Absolutely. And that way we can focus either on the single interviewee or the 4 seats, including you, the host, if you're a real participant in what's happening. Georgia, so good to see you here. How are you, dear?
I'm good. Let me get I'm just sort of kind of getting up and moving today.
All right.
And what Calvin said about being healthy is so true. I'm starting to lose my voice, and I've got conjunctivitis in one eye, and I think it's from too much blabbing on Blab. And so I get what you're saying, and yes, I think it was yesterday that I'm doing a daily show, and I think it was yesterday we were talking about Blabaholics and are you addicted to Blab? And someone on the show said, well, she's missing her morning walk, right? Because she's on Blab instead of doing her morning walk. And that she's been feeling the changes in her body from that. And so I think that's true. I mean, when we start letting our self-care go, when we start letting, the things we need to do to keep ourselves healthy, then, we're just going to get sick and then we can't blab, right? So I think what you bring up is an important
you as
point.
the host, though, you as the host need to be the best that you can bring to your program, whatever that may be. Having said that, if you have a set program, which I know Georgia does, hers is daily, and it's normally at 11 a.m., isn't it?
It is, but we've been some people had recommended me to do it later in the day, and I know consistency is important.
But you're still new at it. You're still new, so you're still trying to find what is the good time of day for your program.
Right, and I had some people say to me they wished I was on later in the day, Eastern time. And
so respond to that, absolutely. See, I'm wholeheartedly for that.
Yeah, so this week, and I thank you for saying that, Charlene, because, this week I feel like I am still in that exploration phase and as a host. And so I'm going to try a different time this week and see how that works.
Good.
What's interesting is the time I have on the weekends works very well. but during the week it doesn't work as well. And so that's, but what would you say about having one time during the week and a different time during the weekend?
The only thing that I would recommend you do is to add a little bit of difference in the title so that we know that it's the weekend show. That's why it's at 11 a.m. So because that's the difference. If you've got 5 days at another time and then the weekend, the only thing I would add is maybe something in the title that says why. And quickly, join us for the weekend for this, that, or the other.
Got it.
That's the only thing. But because you're setting the expectation of the audience, what's happening is I'll go to your profile and I'll start subscribing, and then I'll start seeing different times. And on the profile and in your scheduled, it's not telling me the day when you get out further than 4 or 5 days. So it can get, that's just me thinking in terms of the audience and helping them to understand what they can expect. So that's the only recommendation I would have. Other than that, I'm all for you playing with the times, determining really where's the best place for you during the week and the audience that is looking for what you have to offer. Now is the time to do it.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Jump off so someone else can jump in.
Okay. Good luck with your health. Take care of that voice and that eye.
Oh, and drink juice.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
So seats open for anybody who has questions about hosting a Blab, how to be the host with the most. Did you have any other questions, Calvin, or comments?
Yeah. Do you also think that, like, I guess, pre-recording your shows a little bit more not as stressful?
So I don't know how you can pre-record on Blab.
No. Oh, is this specifically for Blab?
This is about how to rock your Blab show, yeah.
Oh, I just thought you meant host in general. So
nope.
Nope.
Okay. The only one I can really speak to today is the Blab show itself.
Oh, okay.
Now, what I can tell you is that I think it's perfectly okay to script it.
Oh,
especially if you have a very specific type of show. So I will be setting up a show essentially to introduce, or it's not even an interview, it's more of an introduction of a chef to Blab, but to also the community. And part of it will be scripted so she won't have any surprises in terms of questions I'll be asking her. And then we're going to get her comfortable with handling off-the-cuff questions from people in the comment area. But I, as host, I'm going to be very conscious of how she's responding to the new platform and to the people's questions. If she starts getting uncomfortable, because I know her, I'll start shutting down answering those questions and I'll move to the script. So I'll prep her ahead of time, letting her know that I'm going to be able to do that so that she's comfortable while she's on camera.
Yeah.
All right.
I've also noticed that when you are doing like any sort of live broadcast, there will always be some sort of very I guess it's like a raw kind of moment, and it's like very, you feel there's like some tension going on, and then that's when the script starts to come in handy as a backup. So,
absolutely.
Because I've done a lot of live broadcasting, like with television networks, and it's really nice to have that little notebook there, because sometimes it's nice to like record whoever you're interviewing with like in your own personality, but then sometimes it will also get like very awkward for both parties, and so it's like, oh no, it's okay, I'll just pick up the script, like just follow the lines, you know.
So then you have the moment, that dead moment, and there's no segue, just go straight to a scripted question, get things back on track. I believe that is the job of the host, not of the interviewee nor the people in the comment area. It is my job to moderate and make sure that we're moving forward as smoothly as possible, keeping into account those who are live streaming with me. I'm doing that now. being very conscious that, Calvin, you're on with me, so you deserve my attention. I'm glancing over to the right and seeing some questions I'll be addressing shortly. And I'm welcoming anybody into the open seat if you have a direct question about how to rock your next blab and be the host with the most. But all of that I'm conscious of. I see you're relaxed, you're comfortable, it's not an issue. I don't have to ask something specifically to get you comfortable again. And I think, again, that's the job of the host. It takes practice, as you know. It takes practice. Do have a couple questions to the side. Ian is asking, has anyone nailed the way to capture the whole chat without big images? Okay, are you talking about live stream screen capture where you're recording the screen? Ian, thank you. Please don't make me fumble to try to figure out what you're asking, dear.
That's okay.
Hello, Ian.
Great that you asked for the supplementary question. With the chat box down the right-hand side, the chat, I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but it gets truncated. You only get the last little bit if you go into the recording later. And even while we're here, it can stream off and be lost. Correct. So it makes sense that a host, or more likely a co-host, depending on how you're teaching people, Charlene, but someone like that could grab that content periodically so we don't lose it until Blab fixes that and gives us that as a file at the end of the Blab. And when I've done it via a cut and paste, very, very dumb, simple, rudimentary way, I get everyone's icon of their Twitter handle.
Love that.
Huge. So has anyone nailed the quick way to do that works without blowing up into big pictures and killing 6 trees?
It's the program that you're using, right?
Well, all I'm doing is cut and paste and then paste the word.
Oh. Well, then now you're looking at it. You're looking at technical stuff in Word, and I bet you what's happening is you're bringing over formatting from the platform of Blab into Word, right? So then you'll have to reveal the formatting and remove all of that. I'm more inclined to say, what I'm inclined to say is that I have Snagit, and I can record a screen, and I can record portions of a screen from my monitor, right? So I could record all of it while it's being recorded here, and then I could edit just to, in any video editing, and just have the comment sections and do stills from that. Either way, right now it's going to take some work.
Yes,
but I'm with you, Ian. That is definitely a suggestion for the community. Have you gone to Brittany Metz's community Blab?
I have
blog on Medium?
Dropped it in one of the town halls, I think when they were maybe 10 days ago, which is a bit too quick to expect a response. But just seeing if anyone else has nailed it, and it's good for people to be aware of the challenge. If they do want to keep something, as you say, you can snag the picture or just cut the bit you want. But I'm even just trying right now. And
part of it, too, I think, is that as a co-host, somebody who's really on target with what the purpose of the Blab is and what the end results we're looking for, one of their jobs could very well be to segment and filter the information according to the top. You can see all or mentions or questions. Show just the questions. And do snapshots along the way for future reference for future shows. Now, there's a hint, people. And if you have a regular program and you're getting consistent questions along the way, suddenly it becomes a show in itself. There's an idea.
And there's one too. Let me just test that.
Okay, so we have...
No. You can't tag yourself in there. Mention yourself.
No. Okay, well, Ian, that sounds like a personal issue, so I'm going to ask you to go to your coach. That was fun. That was fun. Ian's trying to tag himself. Sorry, my friend.
I'm going to head off, but
okay, dear.
Thanks for that advice. It was really helpful.
Oh, thank you. I loved your comments. They were helpful.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
Seats empty. Anybody have any questions about Rocking Your Blab show? How to be the host with the most? It's what I'm here for. People have asked me to do this program, so I am. And we have welcome back, Georgia.
I'm back.
Good to see you again, as always.
Oh, thank you. And there's a few people on here that should jump in because I know they have great questions about Blab.
Call them out. Come
on in, Michelle and Hillary.
We have Alicia.
You both have great things to say. And Alicia.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, doing well.
Good.
So did you have another question, Georgia?
Yeah.
Or did you just want to get on and call people out?
Well, yes, that too. But no, the question's a real easy one. On iPhone, there's no record button. We were talking about the recording and commenting and stuff like that. Do you know anything about that?
I do not have any iProducts, so I can't answer that part.
Okay.
I know if I turn mine sideways, I can record, but if I held it upright, I can't.
Oh, thank you, Alicia. That's very helpful.
There you go.
I have an Android, so I don't have an iPhone. But try that. See if it'll help.
I will. Thank you. That was it.
You're welcome.
I'll let you talk to Alicia.
Okay, Georgia. Hi, Alicia. Good to meet you.
Hi. We've seen each other before. I was up in my room working out one time, and I messaged it.
You were.
I was.
Yes, okay.
And I was on. So what I'm finding out as I'm interviewing people, I've had a couple interviews. One with a really a popular author in the ketogenic world. I initially came on here thinking that I would call it one thing. And then I thought to myself, I don't know if I want to limit myself in that way, because one of the things that I'm doing for myself and for my family is I'm on the ketogenic diet, which is awesome. And it's becoming more and more popular. I also work for represent a company that has a product that puts you into ketosis. So I thought I would call it Mom Goes Keto and kind of make it a show that meant kind of like Mom Goes Crazy, because I have 7 children. Okay. Now you probably know. So I like the thought of the show, and I've been mainly focusing on health and wellness coaches or mental health coaches, which has been really fun because I love like the whole Think and Grow Rich. That's huge for me. Right now I'm studying, I'm in a group that does Greatest Salesman of the World,
right,
and Grow Rich all at the same time. So we're doing all these different exercises, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Sometimes it's tough for me to get on your show in the morning at 8:00, but I caught you today as you were leaving. I was like, oh, dang it. The kids are home from school today, so I have 3 of them home, so it's kind of like.
I get it.
Ugh, it throws me off in the morning. What was that?
Uh-oh. Yeah, you came back. You went into, you cybered for a minute there, okay. Cyber warp. You're back.
You did too. It's like, I guess that was part of my cyber warp. My question to you is, I just kind of was playing, because I wasn't exactly sure what Blab even was. Now that I've got way better handle on it, and if I'm not doing a show, I'm in somebody's show. I try to make sure that I'm in Blab because I love it. I love the interaction. I think it's so much fun. I love the learning. It's amazing how many experts are here giving free advice. It's incredible. And that's been so cool. But I'm thinking to myself, am I limiting myself by making Mom Goes Keto? And should I call it something else? Because I'm thinking I should, because I'm evolving.
Is the focus of the show going to change?
I don't, I want to be able to be open enough to accept whoever. I mean, if I decide to, interview, I don't know, Lionel Richie, I want to be able to, have them say, oh, Alicia called from the blah, blah, blah show, the Mom Goes Keto show, the what?
I would change the name if you're going to change the focus of what the show is about. And it could easily be, Afternoon with Alicia, or the Alicia Hour, or something, whatever it is that you decide that you want the show to be about. The title can reflect just as you began with the title reflecting exactly what the program is about. There's also my next question to you is, do you want to develop yourself into an online personality? And if you do, then I believe it should be associated with your name, because that is you, and that way you are free to expand it in multiple ways. So,
I agree. I'm also a professional singer. So, and it's funny because I have 7 kids. I live in New Jersey. I'm a professional singer. I rep a couple different
so
companies.
You could expand the single show to cover everything, or even better would be to segment yourself so people know what to expect. So it could be something like Hour with Alicia, talking about ketos and the keto diet. Hour with Alicia, talking kids. Hour with Alicia, interview time, something like that. And that way it's still you, but now you're really setting the expectation for the audience, and it's more attractive for those who are interested in what you have to say. If it's just, think about this, if it's just Charlene Burke, think about this. If I had put in the title, Hour with Charlene, would you have come?
Probably because I know your name,
You don't know my name?
But if I know you, I know you bring value.
But that's because I have a reputation with you. So I've already set expectations for you. What if I'm trying to build an audience? If I'm trying to be focused on something in particular, why wouldn't I put that into the title? So
I hate when it says I'm lonely. Come talk to me.
So that's a fun blab. That's but you're talking about something very specific that I'm seeing as related to who you are and a possible business or funneling into a business. So when you have that happening, your name should be a part of it, but you can play with it a bit. You can do something a little bit different. Now, I have the Morning Mindset Cafe. I'm not going to be attaching my name to that. Mm-hmm. I didn't attach my name to this one. I'm not trying to build a personality. What I'm doing is I'm trying to build an inventory of good content that I can share elsewhere, and others can see me in a variety of online activity in conjunction with the other things that I do. So there's a purpose to why I'm recording this now and others I haven't. But I don't want to be a online personality. So that's why I'm naming things the way I am. One tip. Ian brought it out. Remember, when you change the topic of a blab, the recording will hold the last topic that it was changed to, but you can change it. When it ends, right, and you get off, go back into the blab and change the topic before it's
done.
Okay.
Yeah, I made the mistake. I interviewed somebody, had their name at the top, changed it because we changed their topic, and then ended it. And
I'd recommend that if you're going to have a regular program, you don't change the topic.
I agree.
Okay, that's what I recommend. Sometimes I don't change my morning mindset cafe. I don't change that even in the after show. Okay, so the recorded program is definitely, that's the name, but the after program, because I'll leave the room open for 30 to 60 minutes, I don't change the topic, because ultimately we're going to be coming back into what we were talking about originally. So that's one word of caution. Okay, if you want to brand yourself, you want a specific image for me, when I see Alicia is then : whatever, just keep it consistent in that way.
I think that's good. I think because Fridays I was planning on doing my ketogenic diet, or the keto show, so I can leave Fridays Mom's Gone Keto, and then change it for the rest of the week. I think that's a great idea, because I do love Mom's Gone Keto, because it's cute. It's cute. I love it, but it doesn't. I'm feeling resistance in the other areas. Like Friday is awesome for that day, but I'm learning about resistance. I have a question for you. Do you mind if I ask you?
Make it quick. I've got 2 minutes.
Okay.
The 30 minutes is up.
Okay, quick question. As I'm reading Hanel, I'm on the Master Key's 3rd week. He talks about destroying fear. And I've struggled with that, because I think, fear is not that fear is your friend, but I don't think that fear necessarily needs to be destroyed, But if you can love yourself in that fear and move forward, what do you say about that, like destroying fear concept?
If I want something bad enough, I do it in spite of the fear.
Right, but you're not destroying fear. I kind of felt like a little resistance in that. I'm like, destroy
I don't
the
think
fear.
you can.
Like,
fear is a part of being human nature. That's my experience. So that's as much as you're going to get from me, dear. You're a doll. Thank you, Alicia. All right, so we had a question on the side. How long do you let a blab go? You decide, and then you stop it. I have 1 more minute, and I'm going to be stopping it because that will end the 30 minutes that I said I would be here. Meet the expectation that's in the title, 30 minutes. You don't have to go 2 hours. You're the host. It's up to you. I have that 1 hour program every morning. Top of the hour, we shut the recording down, and it's up to me to determine whether or not I'm going to keep the room open. Wednesdays, I don't, and I tell people ahead of time. But again, as the host, I think it's my responsibility to let my audience know, and those participating in the comments or live stream, what to expect next. Suddenly, out of nowhere, saying, oh, well, I got to go, everybody. It was great having you here. Click down. Really? I think that's rude, and that doesn't suit me. That's not who I am. So I hope that answered your question. And then why not be an online personality? You're welcome to be one. It is not my goal. It's not who I am nor what I aspire to be. So there's that question answered. How's that? Nice and quick. Again, it depends on who you are, you as the host, what you want to offer to the audience. Because that's not who I am. I was getting why. I get it, but why? Because I don't want to. And let's see, Angela, I want to welcome everybody here. Chuck, good to see you. Good friend, Chuck. Thank you for coming. We are at the top. We are at the end. 30 minutes. That was it. Q&A. I hope that the answers and questions that you got here were helpful. If not, I'll do it again. It'll be off the cuff based on my current schedule. Hope to see you next time. And Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know, finishing out the Rock Your Blab show, be the host with the most.